Okay. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Again.
Welcome to episode 4 of Perspective Check. Sorry about the camera not working. Yeah, 4th week doing this. Still haven't given up on it yet. Eric Korak is unfortunately not going to be with us tonight. He is on vacation.
Dead.
He's also dead, regrettably. But yeah.
He's probably watching this right now.
No, he isn't.
What?
He's probably watching this.
He might be watching.
Hey, what's up, Eric? And Pat?
Oh, is Pat watching? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably not. He's probably squatting right now.
Shout out to our fans, dog.
That's cute that you think we have multiple fans.
Or even one.
Oh yeah, or even one.
Well, is your mom still watching?
Probably not. She gave up on
She
it
was like
too.
20 minutes. I was like, hey, on episode 1, she was like, I couldn't figure it out, we're done. CAY's mom.
But yeah, if you guys are tuning in again, having watched this before, we're glad you guys are back. If you guys are tuning in for the first time, welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Really have anything else, or we good to go into the recap?
And we'll probably
On the last.
we'll probably redo it at the end, but send us feedback. We're always wanting to hear about it. What if you guys like stuff? If you don't like stuff, any audio or technical difficulties, let us know. Stuff like that.
Yeah, the chat might still be working. It froze up last week on our end, so we didn't get to see what people were saying. If you guys want to give us feedback, the best way that we'll see it is if you hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. Both of them, our handle is Roll Perspective on Facebook and Twitter.
And please, we encourage Rule 34 of our characters.
Oh God, please, Rusty.
What's your medal?
I do agree though.
Oh no.
I do.
Oh God, no, we can't have Lily.
Yeah, if you guys are just joining
I think
us,
it already exists.
we have a YouTube channel that Cody runs for us, so past episodes are up on that. Please give us
Except last week's, I'm pretty sure I forgot to upload it.
Well, you don't do
but-
any work.
Yeah, no, I don't do anything.
Lazy.
But yeah, follow us on that so we can get a domain name. That'd be helpful if we get 100 followers.
100 followers, yeah.
I think he just called Rule 34 Jihad on Lily.
Oh God.
So,
Moving past Rule 34. Yeah, so hit us up on one of the other sites or in the chat. We might see it, we might not. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys don't really have anything else, we can
Recap.
Okay. So guys,
I'm like hanging off the edge of the camera.
I mean, you can scooch in. There's only 2 people on your camera.
that makes sense, huh?
But guys, on the last exciting episode of Dungeons and Dragon Ball Z. What the hell happened? You guys, Nocturnum, our intrepid band of adventurers, continued onward past the second Arcane Junction, where they are leading no longer young girl by the name of Jun La. With each Arcane Junction she visits, she has aged and gained strange powers, beginning to take on a physical form of astral starlight and cosmic dust. All of this, the group learned of that she would begin to take on these properties and go through these changes from the vision of an Alcied, a centaur-like deer creature by the name of Kalen. Leaving the second junction, the group continued on towards the Glamer Bay, hoping to find the town of Highcliff. Highcliff?
Yes.
Highcliff,
Correct.
yeah. In search of the town of Highcliff, in order to charter passage across the bay to go to where they believe the third Arcane Junction is. Along the way, Lily discovered that a parrying dagger had gone missing. And
Sorry.
what I thought was going to be a use of divination to find the dagger was actually used to ask what leading Junlong to this next junction would result in. She went into a vision, and a large stag appeared before her and gave a somewhat cryptic message that she served some importance. The group continued on from there and got to the ocean, and after a bit of navigation were able to find their way to Highcliff, a small port town on the bay. Managing to charter passage with a captain by the name of Alchem Coldsinger. They negotiated prices and what they would need to do in order to get Cullen onto the ship. As of right now, the option is to... They paid up front, they paid more money, and Alchem believes that if they attempt to go across the bay with her, all ships crossing the bay are being searched by the fleet of elven ships that are watching the bay in the aftermath of the war with the orcs. If found, the captain believes that Cullen will be taken from them, and all of his wares on the ship will be seized as well. Still trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do with that. They went to the inn, the tavern, where in a very Tortuga-like scene they saw sailors and wenches drinking, merrymaking. Korak got into a bar fight with Vok the Oceanbreaker, a large Ganassi sailor who whooped his ass.
Beat the fuck out of him.
He wasn't... for putting on a good fight and putting on a good show, he managed to get room and board for him and his companions, and the group went to rest, to wake up early in the night to get Cullen into town and onto the ship. So, that's where we leave off. All of you go to bed somewhat early. Gorak, more than a little bit drunk, stumbles and finds his way to bed. You all wake up well before the sun rises. Yeah, you see whenever Korak comes down, you can see that he's got he's got a large black eye. His nose is a little bit swollen, and you can see that he keeps adjusting his jaw, and you can hear a slight clicking sound when he does it. But all of you make your way down from your rooms well before the sun rises. What do you guys want to do?
Well, we
finish picking out the spells.
We're sneaking her on tonight, correct?
Yes.
right.
Yes, your ship is chartered to leave the next morning, or this coming morning.
Yes, so we need to get her onto the ship without being noticed. I think the best way to do that's probably an invisibility spell.
Okay, I would agree.
I can help with that.
But at the same time, how would we be able to protect them from their detection magics? They'd be able to at least sense that there was something awry on this ship. I mean, I can't imagine that they wouldn't be trying to at least try to detect or locate magic themselves.
We've seen them do it before.
That's
when we
question.
entered Kelsai.
I don't think any of my spells are capable of hiding a magical presence from something.
It's a good question. I'm not sure.
Do you perhaps know anything?
Well, I know that spell exists, though I don't have it personally.
Do we know for certain that they have detection of magic? Or we're just guessing based on past experiences?
It's a highly educated guess based on past experiences. These are I mean, their city was almost completely destroyed. They probably will not be taking any chances in the near future.
Perhaps we can find a place to hide her on the ship without using magic.
I could.
Yeah, wasn't that guy supposed to help? Was he helping us, or is he just letting us do this?
He's letting us do it. I don't know if he plans on he possibly has ideas of where to hide her. Not smuggling her across.
I could make her appear as though she's dead.
What do you mean?
I can make somebody seem as though they're dead.
So we're just transporting a corpse of a Saeed?
It could say.
It's an option. I'm simply just letting you know what I'm capable of.
Interesting. Not sure. I mean, I can always... Any spell that I use would show up in the detection spell. I mean, greater illusion could do... Or major illusion could do something, major image.
Sidebar here. We are trying to conceal Kalen, not Junlaw, correct?
Yes.
Correct. Junlaw takes on a normal physical appearance.
Despite her
still has
magical
her
abilities, they don't care.
Correct. She, in all appearances, looks like a normal girl. She has whenever you guys are just hanging out, she has her caramel-colored skin. She looks like a late teens, early 20s girl. It's just, and you've noticed it before, it's just whenever there seems to be some form of danger that her power begins to alter her physical appearance.
At the same time, our group does have a pretty substantial amount of magic and enchanted items among ourselves. If they do try to detect magic, they're going to sense all of that as well, so perhaps we could act as a distraction of sorts?
It's not a bad idea.
What do you guys think about using like a polymorph spell? To change her into, I don't know. Can you change somebody into a human with polymorph? It says into a new form.
I don't think it's that powerful at those lower levels, but it might be.
Wait, I have an idea. We could change her into some sort of small creature, and we could just pretend that she's Sindal's familiar.
Oh.
It only lasts for an hour though, so we would have to change her and then hide her somewhere.
We'd only need to do that if the ship. Well, if
I doubt the
ship,
search will take much more than an hour, if at all.
That's.
Is Alcom anywhere near us right now, or?
You guys are still in the tavern.
I didn't know if he is Shaker.
Does polymorph work on any sort of creature?
Yes. Any willing creature. I mean, honestly, any unwilling creature too.
So polymorph lets you transform things into a beast, so you wouldn't be able to transform her to look like a human.
Okay.
You could transform her into a dog.
Yeah.
Or like a
Something
small
like
bird or a small animal that could pretend to be as familiar is, I think, our best choice.
That's actually a really
Because
good
then
idea.
if they do detect magic on the polymorph, that could be the excuse for the magic that's detected.
It's a strong.
And
that
I
sounds
mean,
like a good idea.
if, I don't know, out of character how detect magic looks, but if she's on a person who is adorned with magical items, it might not look out of place.
I think the way it works is like when you have detect magic, you like see magic auras around things.
Yeah, so if like there's a person.
Yeah, whenever you have detect magic running, whenever you see something that is magical, you know that it's magical, and you know the school of magic that is giving off that essence.
Ooh. What school of magic do familiars fall under? Or was that something
I don't know.
in character, in game thing that we would know? We wouldn't know.
I technically don't have a spell. So.
We'll make an Arcana check.
Me? Or
Him.
Okay.
He's the one proficient in it.
That's pretty high. 25.
I mean, it's fairly simple. It's conjuration magic.
Just make sure.
Magic is polymorph.
Transmutation.
I mean,
I'd have to prepare it since it's morning, I'd assume I'd have to go to bed now.
No, if you haven't prepared your spells, you just have to spend time sitting down to prepare your spells.
In game, how long does that usually take?
It should say in there how long it takes to prepare spells as a druid, like on your druid section. It's just, you have to spend like 15-20 minutes preparing all of your different spells. It's like it's like a minute or two per prepared spell. Essentially, the way it breaks down is that if you get woken up in the middle of the night, if you get woken up in an encounter, you only have the spells prepared that you had prepared the day before. If you don't have time to sit and think about it, you can't have prepared different spells.
At break or later, I'll ask you for more clarification on it.
That's
but
fine.
If you say I can prepare it, then
Yeah.
I'll do that should we decide to.
I mean, do you think that they would try to call us on our bluff just because it's a different school of magic over like a small animal? And if not, we could probably just lie our way out of it. Plus, we are Arakoa. Aratoa. Sorry.
Sorry.
There is that, and they probably aren't going to be sending their best wizards out on these small expedition ships. They're probably going to keep their A-team.
Just to give
Well,
context,
not
these are
small
warships. These are warships that are in the bay that are maintaining this blockade to make sure that nothing passes through the bay or across the bay without being searched and seizured through and by the
Okay, my bad.
the military. No, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. That these aren't small like fisherman boats that are on this. This is the military. This is the military that is maintaining this blockade to make sure
warships.
to make sure that nothing and no one threatens the Elven City in its weakened state.
So, I mean, what else could we think of doing? I feel like any sort of spell we use, they're going to detect it if they indeed do a detect magic spell on the ship.
Well, I think first we should just see if the captain has a large enough hold that we could hide her in. If we don't need to use any magic, they won't be able to detect it. And in the event that they do, then we could go with your idea as a backup plan about the polymorph and the...
Maybe we should have somebody as a distraction in case they seem to be on to the polymorphing or some sort.
As a
I
plan
can
C,
distraction on that.
I guess just try to see if our position as Aratoa will grant us passage.
I mean, if she was a small creature and just got in somebody's backpack that already has magic items in it, we could just pass.
What about the bag of holding?
Generally not a good idea to put living creatures in those.
I don't know if we want to stick her in there.
I say we do the polymorph. We can't run the risk of like walking up claiming to be Arato, and if that doesn't work, then they already know that we're doing something wrong.
Actually, yeah, transforming it into something small, and then seeing if we could keep her in a bag with some of our other assorted magic items. Hopefully, those auras will
find a way. Make sure that she can breathe in there. But
oh no, I will. Oh, I'm sorry. Not the bag of holding, just a regular bag.
So make sure put her in a bag. If they find out that she's in a bag, we say she's Sindal's familiar. If they call us on that bluff,
I have faith in your silver tongue.
I will try to step in and lie. Tell them that we polymorphed somebody's pet into a smaller version or something. And if they call us on that, I'll just
try to invoke our see if
Aratoa. We've got a long string of lies if we need to.
Yes. Well, we should then lie some more.
Yes.
I mean,
we'll just lie forever and never tell the truth. It's not a good idea. Don't do that normally.
Well, I think we have our plan then.
Okay.
Right? Are we solid on the plan?
yes. At least I think
I
so.
defer to you guys on this stuff. You have farther greater knowledge than I.
Right.
So, who's going to get Colin?
I will. I'm just figuring something out real quick with my spells. I'm making sure I have the right number prepared.
I'll go with him.
Okay. So, the two of you head off. You're walking through the town. You can see at this point that there are a few guards that are patrolling in pairs with torches. There's not a lot of guards. You walk past maybe 2 or 3 patrols. As you get a little bit further away from the tavern, you walk past at one point. There's a guy that he just kind of passed out on the side of the street holding an empty bottle of booze, and he just passed out, just snoring loudly. You guys head up the winding path towards the forest. You can see 2 new guards are standing up near the pylon that helps to ward against the enchantment from the forest. They watch you 2 go. Give you a bit of a look, but just kind of nod. You can see one of them is kind of falling asleep. And you guys head off westward along the path towards where you last left Kalen. You guys start rooting around through the woods. You guys make perception checks. Not with advantage, because it's dark out and you don't have... you can't see in the dark.
I was going to say, did a quickling steal my eyes of the eagle? Because I will quit.
Did you quickly see?
It's really dark outside.
15.
6.
Okay.
No, wait, 8.
Sindal, you see Lily pulling down the eyes of the eagle, and you can see her kind of adjusting them, trying to fix them so that she can see in the dark. But it appears to no avail. But you hear the gentle sound of light snoring a little bit further ahead of you. Kind of walking through the path, you can see Kalen has hidden herself pretty well. But your eyes adjust into your dark vision, and you can see her. Lily bumbling around. She wakes up and looks at the 2 of you and... All right. So, what's the plan?
Well, our plan is to
manage to charter a ship?
we have a ship. We have their consent and knowledge that we were bringing in our side. We've planned to look for a lower dock or lower compartment to hide you in. We have a few backup plans. Should that not successfully hide you, or they don't have a proper compartment for you, we have another plan where Lily will polymorph you into a smaller creature, and you will pretend to be my familiar of sorts, a creature that would be a friend to me, a small...
All right. It sounds like there's enough of a plan in place. All right. Well, how are we getting into town?
Yes, I was thinking about that on the walk out. We haven't really thought about how to get her into town, although we could just...
How far a walk is it?
15 minutes.
Do you want to should we polymorph you now, or should we maybe turn you invisible until we get closer?
It doesn't matter to me either way.
What do you think, Sindal?
Well...
I know that polymorph is a more powerful spell. Do you have the ability to cast it again today if we have to?
Yes, I can cast it twice if we need to.
All right. Well,
I believe
whichever.
polymorph would be the safer bet, I think.
Because we're going straight to the boat.
Yes.
Okay, let's just cast polymorph.
Okay. And what are you turning her into?
What do you want, Sindal?
Well... a small creature.
Someone's dead.
Probably a chipmunk.
A dead
An
chipmunk.
owl with a top hat and a monocle.
I
All
almost
right.
said that.
With
A chipmunk.
Cockney accent.
I think it's
You
fitting.
see, you hear a slight, almost the sound of like snapping bones as you see that her form almost painfully shifts very quickly down to a small little brown chipmunk, and you see her.
I put my hand down and
She runs up and she kind of digs in underneath the cloak and is just kind of keeping an eye out.
Cool. I stay hidden as best you can. And
As the two of you start walking back up the path, you get to the pylon where you can see there's only one guard there right now, and he's just kind of leaned against it, and you can kind of see drool starting to run down the front of his lip as he is just asleep. Quietly walk past him. You continue down into town. Seems pretty quiet. You guys make your way towards the docks. The rest of you go to the docks as well. At this point, the sun's probably about maybe 30 minutes from rising. And you can hear, as you guys are getting closer to the dock, whereas most of the town is pretty quiet, you can hear Alcom's voice ringing out over the docks as you see probably about a dozen sailors, a couple, some men and women, just carrying up a couple last boxes. You can see that they are loosening ropes, and you can see some of them pulling out long wooden poles as it looks like that they're getting things ready to disembark from the docks. You guys all arrive at the docks at about the same time. You guys walk towards the ship, and you can see Alcom walks down the what the hell's that called? The gangplank?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I think that, whatever it's called, the thing that actually runs down from the ship down to the docks. The ramp, yeah.
The ramp.
You see that he walks down and he says, I don't remember the accent that he has.
I think he was Hispanic.
That's not what it is.
Swahili.
And he says,
Hey, man.
it's good to see all of you this morning. You all ready to go?
Aye.
Where's your companion?
With us.
All right. Are we putting her down in the smuggler's hole all the way across?
Do you think they check it?
I haven't checked it yet.
Well,
Has it ever been discovered?
Just said
Not
No,
yet.
I know nobody checked it. I just didn't know if anybody was ever aware of it.
I've never had any problem with it.
I'm just saying, if discovered, would it appear suspicious if there was a person down there?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that if it gets found, we're all going to be in trouble.
Okay. Well, do you feel the need, Sindal, to go down there?
Well, I don't know if we should put. If we're putting one down there, I think that the other would be Lily, in case we need to recast the spell, depending on how long.
Alright, yes, that's not a bad idea. I can send her a message if she needs to do it as well.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are led up onto the ship. It's not a very big ship. You can see that he's got about, like I said before, about a dozen deckhands. There's not a whole lot of room aside from what space they have, along with, you can see that he has probably maybe 24 barrels and crates down in the lower decks. You can see that there is an array of bows and spears kind of laid along the edges of the decks. Looks like that is the only type of armament that the ship has. You guys are led down into the lower docks where, or into the lower decks where some of the crates are moved. and you can see that there is a floor panel that is flush with the planks that make the bottom of the ship. And you see Alchem lift it up, and you see 3 or 4 burlap sacks that appear to be filled and are very much stuffed full that are down in this little hole. There's about enough room for 2 people to be able to fit cramped. So Lily and Colin would both be able to fit in there. And Alchem says, "Are you sure you want to be down there? It's going to be 2 days to get across the bay."
I think I'll manage.
All right.
Will they need to be down there the whole time?
That's what I'm asking. Do you want to stay down there the whole time, or do you just want to go down whenever we think that we see a ship coming to?
That would probably
search.
be a much more. That would be a much more palatable idea.
With
Your friend, she has to stay down here. I don't think the crew is going to be amenable to beasts like that walking around.
I think
That's
it's
fair.
let's put some food and things down there for her, so she doesn't starve in the 2 days.
Is the crew even aware?
No.
Fair enough.
we can check on her frequently too, so that she's not like literally by herself for 2 days.
Alright,
Yes.
stay here.
We will check on her. We will be sure she's fed and all right.
Okay.
And at night we may find ourselves.
As we move forward, like, I'll check on her, but not just like pop my head in. Oh, are you doing okay? Like, I'll spend a couple hours at a time with
I can
her.
also use my message to talk to her every once in a while too.
Well, I don't mean to sound rude about it, but if you're going to be moving around the only reason that we're really able to move all the boxes out of the way right now is because all the crew is still a little bit busy. If you're down here moving things around while the ship is running, some of the crew is probably going to see you. So, you're either in the hole with her, or she's in the hole for 2 days.
I'll do it.
You should.
Yeah.
Alright.
So,
I've seen some shit. I think I can handle it.
They are the smallest right now as well, so.
Well, let's make sure you have food. Take your cloak with you, use it as a pillow or whatever.
So, you see Lily hop down into it. You see Colin in the little scroll form kind of crawl out from underneath the hood of your cloak. You hand her down to Lily. You see that she kind of goes over onto the one of the little burlap sacks and just kind of sits as you see the captain. All right, we'll see you in 2 days. Slams it shut. Darkness fills the little compartment that you're in, and you see him move some of the boxes and barrels back to be on top of the
Is it
compartment.
pitch black?
At this point, yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna use. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I didn't clear it with them before. I'm gonna do like a tiny little produce flame.
Okay.
The ship explodes.
Yeah.
Just to get some
It
light.
turns out
for
the
the
burlap
moment.
sacks are filled with raw lyrium.
That's what I was gonna ask. Later. I wanted to do it later, but
Like, I should be able to do like a really controlled one. Like a tiny one.
I mean, I think they have that spell.
The
It's
nature
called
of it
black.
is that you make a fire, like you make a small fire that you hold for. What's the duration on it? Like a minute, and you have to recast it every minute.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna do it for like to figure out where we're at and get situated.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm not gonna just like constantly like.
Do you have the light cantrip?
I don't.
Druids look at that. Okay, so you're given some food. There is not a lot of space. It's probably going to be a little bit tight once Colin reverts back. But you situate yourself on the burlap sacks and you just laying down, taking a rest. Unfamiliar scent It kind of comes from the burlap sacks. It's almost like a sour smell. Kind of comes from them. It's not like bad, like you're gagging or anything, but it's just enough to just kind of twinge the senses, even after you start to get used to it every once in a while.
Mysterious skunky odor fills your nostrils.
As the rest of you find places to relax, either below or above deck. About another 15 minutes pass, and you hear Alchem calling out to the crew as the ship, they pull out the long wooden poles and push off from the docks, and you guys start to go out into the bay.
For flavor, can I be using Druidcraft to create like a flowery scent so that we're not smelling this?
Sure.
Alright.
After about 15 minutes,
we pass out.
the two of you sitting there, another 15 minutes pass, and then suddenly Colin's full form expands, kind of crushes you down a little bit, and you guys, for those of you that are still below deck, you see the crates and barrels that are underneath it just kind of lift up and like push against it for a second. Just, oh, Lily, I'm so sorry. Let me. Oh no, hold on. And you can feel the antlers kind of like brushing around and just causing a mess getting caught in your hair.
You have to be quiet.
I'm sorry.
I'll send a message down to Lily like, is everything okay down there?
Do you have to be able to see people to see it?
As long as I know they're there, I can cast it through solid objects.
Okay.
And then I just think it back to them. Is that how it works?
I think you whisper a message and I'll hear it. It's a... I whisper a message, only you can hear it. You whisper a message, only I can hear it.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I was looking at sending. Wrong spell. I was like, 5% chance of failure on another plane. That's a little powerful for a cantrip.
I can send it through a plane of existence. As long as that plane is within 100 feet.
You gotta send the message or message they're there. It's different. You gotta be careful. You're either sending a message or messaging a sending.
I'm confused.
Nope, lost me. Anyways.
That one didn't quite strike.
So.
It's because he's in another plane.
The ship begins to pull away from Highcliff, and for the most part, this is the first time most of you have seen the ocean, let alone been on a ship. Fenrir,
A sea is interesting.
just roll me a d20 and add your wisdom.
That's a 13.
You begin to vomit
13?
uncontrollably.
No, you know how a ship is run. It's run fairly well. You can tell that as Alchem is shouting out orders, that a couple of the deckhands, maybe 3 or 4, look a little bit unsure of what they're doing. And you can hear as he's calling out orders that a couple of them are having to stop and reevaluate where they are, and then have to go somewhere else. It looks like that it's new sailing for some of these people, but there's a handful of the crew as well that, before he's even calling out orders, they're already moving into position and getting the ship moving and working. But you guys see off in the distance the first light of day begin to crest over the horizon. The scent of sea air fills your nostrils. Ship begins to bob up and down a little bit. Lily,
Oh no.
roll me a Constitution check.
I don't know. They're just gonna be vomiting all over each
You again. I'm gonna use some luck. Which actually, I might have to reset this because
It's been a new day.
Yeah, it's a new day.
All right, so
So this is your first luck.
luck. Okay, much better. This was Constitution.
Yeah.
15.
15. Okay. It's not a pleasant ride down here. There's a lot of splashing. You can feel very much as each wave hits the ship. It is hitting right onto the side of the ship where you are. It's very loud. You can hear some of the crates shifting around above you, but it's not unbearable. It's just not a pleasant first time spent on a ship. Colin seems very unsure. She doesn't look like she's going to be sick or anything, but she does not appear to be enjoying this. She is just doing her best to just keep a clear head.
She's still in her natural form now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin has returned back to her
But
also.
they're still fitting in that space
Correct.
somewhat decently.
About 20 minutes into the us being on the water, I walk up to the top of the deck, go up to the edge, take a big breath of the air, and I just puke over the edge.
Alright, yeah, you guys just see you see Zarn just leans over the front of the ship and is just vomiting profusely. And after a moment you just see him kind of lift up and why put away a bit.
This is my first time on a ship.
You guys see the rest of you kind of keeping your bearings. You see Junla at one point just runs over right to the very front of the ship, and is just this look of pure excitement and joy is coming across her face. She, in the past few days, has been very personable, very friendly, happy, sad at times whenever discussions with Thera come up, but this is from just a couple weeks ago, seeing the sad state that she was in whenever she was in Kalasari having the tests run on her, and seeing her now. It is a pure contrast of black and white, of just this pure look of excitement and this look of freedom that just seems to just be running across her smile. She just looks out onto the bay ahead of her. The shipmates go into a song. They just kind of keeping pace with what they're doing. About mid-afternoon, you hear one of the shipmates call out. It says, "Captain! Approaching ship! Kalasari colors!" So all of you kind of look to see in the distance. You guys have sailed past some of the ships, but none of them have moved to engage yours. So you saw that several of them already had other ships pulled up next to them. And you can see that there is one ship that's coming and sailing in your direction.
Just as a note, I meant to tell you this before, but I'll just offer, not even offer, I'm just going to start helping people. Like you said, there are people that were like crewmen that were unsure themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to kind of go into it, not even ask, and just start helping.
Okay. Yeah. And you can tell that some of the crewmates that are newer seem a little unsure of your help and are like, no, I've got this. And some of the more tenured ones, seeing you starting to work on it, they berate them and say, just let him help. He clearly knows what he's doing. And they push him out of the way, and you spend some time giving them help.
Pretty much every half hour between me just vomiting profusely and my head spinning, I'm just checking on Lily, or messaging and just making sure she's okay down there. Trying not to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're doing alright.
Just doing updates.
Colin is very quiet, just taking slow, deep breaths.
I'm just enjoying the waters.
Lune is not having
Any
of this. She is sitting down below deck, curled up in the corner, and is just not having any of this. And you can just hear her say at one point, whenever you go to her, she just growls at you and says, "Let me know when we're off of this damn ship." She just goes and just lays down in the corner.
Kindred spirits.
Not the dog with the face out the window.
No, very much not that in this scenario. Korak's pretty hungover. And you can see that he at first tries to kind of help with Fenrir, but after not too long, you can see that the rocking of the ship is beginning to get to him. He says, I'm gonna go downstairs and sit for a minute. And he just goes down below deck. You see the ship, the warship, beginning to sail in your direction. As Alchem calls for the sails to be pulled in, and the ship begins to slow. You can see the large 3-deck ship pull up next to yours. You can see the Sea's Matron is written along the front of it. As the ship pulls up next to it, you can see ropes with hooks fly across to grab the edge of your ship and pulls it in close as the gangplank is lowered down. And you see a company of 5 elves, 2 of which are Aladdin and the other 3 are Aladdin. They are Aladrin. And
I can show you the world.
And 2 high elves come down as well. The one you can see is wearing a set of very ornate and intricate leather armor with different. You can see different elven runes ingrained across the armor. A rapier hangs at her hip. Her hair is clipped very short, kind of like a pixie cut blonde. You can see that most Aladdin are fairly pale and fair skinned. Hers is more or less like my color skin, but for an Aladdin, this is incredibly tan.
Yeah.
And you can see coming down, she comes down first among them, and you can see coming behind her 3 other armed guards, as well as 1 male Aladrin in robes, and coming across, walking across holding a wand. She says, and she walks over in the direction of Alchem. Alchem? Pleasure of sorts to see you here again. He says, Galerial? Pleasure.
Spelling.
Geliriel. If you want, we can just cut this search short. You're not going to find anything of interest. Just heading across the bay, we're going to make 1 quick stop, and then we're just heading straight over to Osmond. Over to Osmond. Really? You don't have anything on this ship? Nothing, I swear. I'm just transporting these good folk across the bay. We'll be on our way. No problems. We'll see. Search the ships. As you can see, the guards begin to walk across, and you see 2 of them go across to some of the barrels and crates that are open on the top of the deck that they are just containing quivers of arrows and a few javelins and spears, as then the other 2 go down below deck.
The smugglers area, is that is the area we've been kind of spending time in, the below deck area, where that is, or is that further down?
No, there is essentially a lot of the boxes and crates are stored more towards the back of the ship, whereas the The few small cots and bunks are more in the middle and front of the ship on the lower decks.
Question. This has technically been long enough for me to have a short rest, right?
Correct.
I'm going to use natural recovery to get back my spell slot for
Okay.
polymorph.
And you hear, you can see the two go below deck. Zarn, during one of your bits of sickness and sitting and resting, you laying on your cot, and you can see these two elves come walking down below deck. They look and they kind of give you like a knowing smirk. They look at each other and just look at you, and they go,
Good day.
Look like you've had better. They walk.
Had worse as well.
They walk back into the small storage room where the crates and boxes are. And you can hear some of the crates getting dragged and moved, and you can hear them just sliding around and just popping open each and every one of the crates. After thunk. And you can make a perception check.
Oh boy. 15.
15. You can see that with kind of through the open doorway, you can see the boxes that are on top of the smuggler's door. They are opening up those ones and sliding them over, and there is only now one barrel sitting on top of the smuggler hole.
What do those guys look like?
The one is the there's one that's just a guard in leathers that has a short bow slung across his back, as well as two long daggers hanging from his side, and the other one is the one that's in the robe. As you've seen them, before they started popping all of them open, the one in the robe went into an incantation and is holding out the wand and is looking over each of the crates as they're being opened.
They're gonna find you. And then the poor man's gonna get arrested for smuggling children, young girls.
Slides the barrel out of the way.
For the worst person to be found.
Do you smell that?
It smells like flowers.
Thunk. Oh. Fucking dead rats.
Oh.
Flowers.
They slide that barrel, the crate that they had just opened, and they slide it over, and it slides on top of the smuggler hole. A few minutes go by. They walk out from the crate area. They walk upstairs to the upper deck. Ship's clean. So you just take you see the Elven captain just takes a long stare at Alchem. You can just see that he just got a smirk. I told you it would be clean. We got no problems here. And then the other one, the Elven soldier that had been below deck had said, fuck, my own call. He says, you might want to clear out the dead rats in your boxes. I'm going to open those up at some point. Killing your whole crew with disease. Walks upstairs. Walks up the gangplank. Alright. Be quick across the bay. Don't dilly-dally, otherwise you'll get searched again by one of the other ships. Move along. Goes up the ship, up the gangplank, it's pulled back. The rope hooks are pulled back. And the Sea's matron parts off from you guys, and Alchem and your ship continues forward across the bay.
Not long after, once he's done barking orders, I walk over to Alchem. Alchem, how well do you know all these Kelisari folk?
Well, I've been across the bay about 2 or 3 times in the last month, and ever since the war, they've been stopping every single ship that comes through the bay. So I've seen her 2 or 3 times. They normally have some ships set up to watch over the entrance to the bay, but they didn't stop everyone all the time. We just happened to be being attacked by pirates one time.
That's unfortunate.
It was for them.
The pirates in these waters.
Not anymore. They don't come anywhere near this bay now that the ships are out.
It crossed my mind that she was skeptical of you. I ought to have asked earlier, what else was in your hold?
Oh, well, we've got some, there's tigris herbs that are down there. Very, hallucinogenic. I'll help you, loosen up a bit.
I see.
Very popular over in Osmond. I can't get them from over there, though. They only grow in the Silverbane woods.
Silverbane Woods. Interesting. I was curious. I should have... I guess we... Well, doesn't matter now.
Yeah, thank God they didn't find them. We would have been in a lot of trouble.
As soon as they leave, I just send a message to Lily and say, we were inspected, but they didn't find you.
As Lily heard...
Lily comes out.
Hey guys, it's gone.
What are you guys doing up there? Stop making so much noise.
Alright, and as you guys sail off from there, we are going to have to go ahead and take a quick break. I'm on call, and I just got paged. So as soon as I figure out that there's nothing else really going on, we'll be back. If not, then depending on how bad this is, we might have to end the stream, but I don't think it'll take that long. So we'll be back in a few minutes. We hope you guys are enjoying.
We'll all figure it out.
You do it every time. Sorry, we're back. Sorry about that delay. Every time we're about to come back, you say something and it breaks Dusty. God damn it.
It's not what he said, it's how he said it. It's just so casual.
We lost Rusty.
Sorry about that.
Before.
Damn careers and jobs getting in the way.
One of those.
Who needs it?
So, anyways, we left off with you guys, with your ship parting ways with the Sea's matron. The soldiers and ship captain having not found the hidden compartment that Lily and Kalen were hiding themselves inside of. You guys continue sailing across the bay. Sun begins to set, and you see some of the crew towards the later half of the afternoon. You see some of them begin to go down below deck and get some rest. And mid-afternoon, you kind of get the idea that they're going down to get some sleep to be ready to take over in the night. You guys are all shown your cots that you were all afforded. It's not super comfortable, not really great. It smells like a bunch of dudes are crammed into a very small space.
I'm staying up on the up top if it's
You just not that
any
dang
difference
flesh.
to them. Just gonna chill up there.
I'll actually probably do that too. Just because I'm probably going to have to throw up anyways.
It's fair.
Under the stars.
Okay. As you sit in for a night's rest, those of you that are up on the first or up on the deck, as it begins, you begin to feel the patter of rain begin to hit. It's not a storm, but it rains over the course of the night.
Can I? I wonder what would happen if I'm gonna go.
Wait, does it rain?
Yes. I'm gonna find a space that's completely. I've never seen anybody. The most unused part of the deck that I can think of.
Okay, there's not a lot of that space.
Oh, okay.
It's a small ship.
Oh, okay.
But
that doesn't seem like a good idea. Then never mind.
If it starts running, I immediately go downstairs.
yeah, I figured. I have an idea what you're going to try to do. As you all find your way down below deck, for those of you that were sleeping upstairs, the rest of the night passes uneventfully, and we wake the next day. It's still kind of overcast, kind of dreary, raining a little bit, but not too much. About
Any elven warships on the horizon?
you do see, or make a perception check, I should say.
3 but a 2. So that'll total up into it's gonna be an 8.
You see rain. Yeah, you don't really see any ships. It's
I don't see any ships.
there. It kind of sets in for kind of a low, kind of chilly, foggy day. Most of you kind of have to bundle up in your cloaks a little bit as it is getting into the later part of fall for the current season. You all around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you hear one of the shipmates call, "Land ahead!" As you see that the ship hands all immediately jump to work and getting the ship ready for docking. You guys approach Another small, even smaller than the last place you were at. The last place looked like it was a little bit more of a port as opposed to this. This looks like that there was a dock on the edge of a very small fishing village. Very similar to Arldusk, where you guys have been before, with the merfolk in that small little fishing village. The ship pulls up,
Unresolved plot thread.
and you see none of the ship hands are really going to work in stepping off the ship. Most of them are staying on board, rearranging things that got moved in the night with the rain, battening down a couple things, and you see Alchem goes and collects most of you guys below deck and says, "All right, if you need to get your friend ready. I can make sure that none of the ship hands are down here."
Did we ever pay Alchem, or were we supposed to pay him when we got on?
We'll be discussing that when we get above deck.
Alright.
You did pay him the 200 up front.
Okay.
I thought this was a.
I need to mark that off because I think I told him I was going to pay it when I got there.
Yeah, you sailed all day yesterday, and you're into the afternoon of today.
Oh no, I have that marked. Okay.
So it's like it's a little bit over a day. And a half
okay.
of
I
sailing.
apologize. Sorry.
But I'll clear it. Boys, let's head upstairs for a minute. And you see that he collects the few ship hands that are still below deck. You guys go over, move some of the crates out of the way, and as you lift up the hidden compartment, Lily, you're suddenly hit by the light from the torch lights. Your eyes having very much adjusted to the dark. You see Colleen, her eyes flash open. You haven't seen her open her eyes basically since you got down there. And she opens up her eyes and she just looks, and her pupils are super dilated. And which is not what should be happening with her eyes being very adjusted to the dark, and now they're suddenly light.
Yes.
And she just looks at all of you very confused.
Let's get her out of here promptly. Also,
You see a look of terror come across her face as she looks at Sindal and slowly backs her head away from you.
No. I step back, and well, I'll be right back. If
What
that's
did he
all right.
say was in this hold?
I step up, I go up, and look for Alchem.
Hallucinogenic herb.
Okay, so you go upstairs.
Hey, Alchem.
Yes.
May I speak with you in private? The deckhands aren't there.
I mean, yeah.
Quietly.
What's up?
Your these herbs. What was it called again?
They're Tigris herbs.
Tigris herbs. Yes. I believe that our friend may be affected by simply being in that hole. How long does that last exactly?
Give it about 6 hours of being
So,
away from
6
it.
hours. Okay. Well, I suppose we'll figure out another way. maybe.
While he's down there, kind of like, just trying to talk to her, like, Colleen, are you okay?
As you kind of reach out and touch her, she immediately she just immediately just takes her staff and just whacks you with it and goes for yeah. She deals 7 points of damage. She just wallops you just right in the side of the head.
Ow!
She just looks at you. Get away from me.
Wait, did you say Tigris herb?
Oh, I didn't say any of this to you guys yet.
Yeah, he's still up top with you might just want to give her some water. I'll help her a little bit, but
All right. Well, I actually am.
if you can turn her into that little creature, she probably won't be able to do much outside of that.
That's true. I'm very curious about purchasing some.
I'm not selling any here.
Well, I wanted to run some tests. That's fine. And I'd go downstairs.
All right.
Give her water. Give them water. Oh.
She is now standing out. She pulled herself up out of it and is just standing in the corner, holding her staff out at all of you, just keeping you.
Haven't I seen you cure somebody's drunkenness?
What's wrong with her? But she's...
Oh, she's high. Oh, I'm sorry. There's an herb in the hole. She's high.
Wait, Lily, are you okay?
Am I okay?
You feel fine. You feel a little bit tingly. Your hands are numb, but you feel fine for the most part.
It's a hallucinogenic herb in the hole
Strong
with her.
tolerance.
Should have known. Damn it.
Why would
I could
why
see
does
if I
it-
could... well, I'd have to get close enough to actually grab onto her if I... But she seems a little...
Is she skittish around
I
me?
pull out my.
She is not responsive to basically anybody.
I pull out my my lute and I start playing a little song, and I say, "Listen very closely," and I cast Hypnotic Pattern.
You see, as you do that, she's just kind of. You can see her eyes. Her eyes were dilated before. You basically just can't see her irises at this point as her eyes just go even wider. She just stands slack-jawed and is just staring, looking forward.
Well, I walk up to her. I put my hands on her shoulders. I don't know how tall she's. Well, and then I cast...
She stands about as tall as the rest of you.
Alright, and then I'll cast Lesser Restoration to try and remove the poison from her.
As you do that, you can see that her eyes focus a little bit, but she's still staring dumbly ahead because of the hypnotic pattern.
Did it work?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't think people know unless you break your spell, but...
I'll just snap and end my Hypnotic Pattern.
Her eyes focus up again as she looks at you. Like, she almost reaches up with her staff.
You alright?
Thank you. Oh, that was horrible.
We're sorry we didn't realize earlier what exactly could have been going on down there.
This smell?
Actually,
He's transporting Tigris herb?
he
Roll an intelligence check.
No. That is an 12.
Okay, you've heard of Tigris herb. You've never had direct exposure to Tigris herb. It's not from the region that you're from natively, but you've heard of it. It's kind of popular, but you didn't necessarily know what the full effects are. This is your first time seeing someone under the effect of Tigris herb in person.
Lily, how do you feel?
I feel fine. Hands are a little numb. But
How about your look up into the light a little bit? Let me see your eyes.
I do that.
A little bit red, but I have the feeling that it might have something to do with the fact that she's been holed up in a small...
Sure.
Small, tiny room, not moving.
Meanwhile, Lily's lying to us, and so all she sees is images of bloodshed and slaughter.
Just the usual stuff, Sarnie.
And then me with the Eye of Groom.
Yeah, just.
Oh!
I was gonna say like the eye of Sauron, the eye of
Dance for me, Korak.
Well, we're sorry to both of you that you had to stay in that hole for these two very long days. I can only assume. Well,
Well, we saved a lot
uncomfortable.
of time then, though. So it wasn't that comfortable for me either. If that makes you feel any better.
Not really. You weren't the one in the hole.
I don't know.
Well,
Never mind. This is why I don't try.
I believe that we should get out of here.
Right.
Polymorph.
Polymorph again.
You pick her up. As you guys head above deck, you can just see you see Junlaw. A bit of a dour look on her face. She's excited to go, but you can see as you guys walk off the ship, or as you guys are going to walk off the ship, Alchem approaches the group and says, "All right, I think it's time we square up on the payment here.
certainly.
20 gold per person."
What was originally?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough. That's awesome. That's fine.
A penny up.
And who's going to pay for Junlaw?
I'll pay for Juno. And not long after I go, Juno, was that your first time on a boat?
Yes. Actually, before yesterday, or 2 days ago, I've never even seen the ocean before. So yeah, this is the first time on a ship. At least one this size. Been on like a rowboat before, but that's about it.
Well, it might have been strange circumstances. I'm glad that you got to see the ocean.
Yes, I'd like to go on one of these again someday. Maybe after we're done with the junction. One more time before winter. If not, maybe next year. And she walks down the gangplank. You all walk off the ship. And Alchem and his crew.
Alchem.
Yeah?
Where are we exactly? What town is this? Where are we?
This is a little place. They call it Dagger Run, but you'll never find it on a map. It's really just more of a shithole than anything else. But it's the only place within 50 miles of this side of the peninsula. Otherwise, we'd have to go the whole way up it into the bay on the other side.
Well, thank you again. We will look you up if we ever need a ship across again, although we will have no idea where you are.
Well, if you're willing to pay and I'm in the area, look me up.
Certainly, thank you again.
He walks back up the ship.
Well, we are in Dagger Run. It's a small little shithole village. Not too far. Well, the closest place that we could get.
What time of day is it?
Well,
4.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. A little bit past 3.
Shall we just get on our way then?
I suppose. I wouldn't mind taking a brief little walk.
Well, we can't be in the
Stretch out a
village.
little.
We can't be in the village too long with.
I'm just
Glenn.
enjoying the fresh air and sunshine.
Yes, they've been cramped up a little bit.
Overcast,
Before we
foggy.
do hard travel, maybe take a moment to relax.
Well,
Let me
See,
take
on the-
some of this tigris
the-
herb.
the
Did you take some?
No.
Okay.
I was debating on it, but not something Lily would do.
Are you sure she did? She did.
She
For
is.
you viewers at home, she murdered a man by roasting him alive in his own suit of armor one time. She's a murderer.
She's
why they-
technically a murderer on her own, yeah.
That's why they call me the Night Mother.
She comes in the night.
The only thing is that we can't stay in the village for more than like an hour because of the polymorph spell.
Oh, I slipped my mind. Well, let's get some food to go. How about that?
Okay.
Fair enough.
Alright, and you guys are able to acquire some trail rations. You guys have already got food.
Fish and chips.
With
My travels with my own caravan back in the high plains of Osman have taught me anything. You never turn down a warm meal when you get the chance.
True words of wisdom.
I feel terribly that Lily was stuck alongside Colin down there. We should keep some food, although she's... Have we seen her eat meat? Is she a...
Are you vegan?
Me?
No. Colin!
What?
We've never seen her... Oh, she can't talk.
Squeak, squeaker, squeak.
I'm not sure what else yet eat.
We'll find her some nice fruit.
You feel a small pinch as she bites you.
Oh, we'll get you a nice fruit or vegetables. Fresh.
Just let the system crash and burn.
Listen, I can't not do my work. Alright, so you guys gather up your things. You guys stock up on rations and following Korak and Junlaw's lead. Because Junlaw seems to have an idea of where she's actually going, but needs Korak and Kalen to kind of guide her through the forest. You guys head into the magically oppressive forest once again. Sindal and Zarn feeling the enchantment pressing in and smothering your magic slightly. As you go forward for about 3 days through the forest.
One of the nights, I'm gonna find some time, like, to talk to Glenn, like, away from everyone else, just whenever.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, or not Glenn, Junlaw.
Okay.
And I come up to her and I say, Junlaw, I've noticed that you've been very energetic the last couple of weeks since we went on the road. You seem really happy.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what all the different visions and everything that I've been seeing. I don't really know what all those are, but all I've ever known my whole life is being kept indoors, having someone always watching over my shoulder from my dad. And it's just nice to be on my own, you know?
I feel very similar. Grew up in a small village. I mean, I was allowed to adventure around there, but pretty much the reason I set out on the adventure in the first place was so that I could see the world. Which I just wanted to make sure that this whole journey we're making right now, going to this last junction, we don't know what's going to happen. Are you sure you want to go through with it?
Well, I can't stop now. I mean, there's clearly something's happening. Something is...
I mean, you can stop whenever you want.
Sometimes you can stop and do what you want. But this isn't something I want to do. I feel like this is something I need to do.
Alright, that's all I really need to hear. I just wanted to make sure that you don't think we're forcing this on you. This is all, especially now, you seem like you have, as you've grown, you've gained more intelligence. I just want you to know that you have free will here. You can, if you want to leave, if you don't want to go through with it. I mean, Kalen might try to stop you, but I won't.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks. And you can see that she just kind of smiles as she just seems to be just pondering on a few thoughts. Looks back to you and come on, let's go back to the let's go back over to the fire. It's cold.
Right.
As you guys get back together, wake up the next morning after this conversation. About 10 o'clock in the morning, you see Junlaw. I think we're getting close. You feel it, and you see that she begins to just walk forward, kind of pushing past Korak and Kalen. You see Korak like kind of tries to stop her, and she kind of shrugs off from his grasp as she just goes into a fast walk forward. And the rest of you keep following. And you start to see small glowing dancing lights begin to filter through the trees, very similar to what you saw at the first junction. Glowing, floating bits of the essence of magic beginning to gather around you, floating almost like you walk into like a dusty house almost, and you can see the dust floating in the air. You can see it just floating around you. You hear this sounds of birds chirping, woodland life, and you hear the sound of your feet underneath you as you walk, pushing through the brush and some of the dried, fallen leaves that have fallen and begin to carpet the forest floor. About another 5 minutes pass, and you see Junla push past a tree. He just comes to a stop and is just looking upward. As you catch up to her, you see out ahead of you about 40 feet of clearing, no trees. Probably a good 40-foot thick tree. Deep, long roots extending down into the ground. The tree going up and up, well over 100 feet up into the canopy, where you can see an ocean of reds and blues and orange, of all the leaves filling the canopy above you. The dust of magic falling from the leaves, slowly drifting down through the clearing, filling the clearing in front of you. And I really hate to say it, but we really are going to need to stop, because my work is not being forgiving in any way. I know this is like, yeah, it sucks, but
this is the most important thing.
Yeah. And I figured this is a good place to kind of end it with Eric.
Excellent space.
With Eric not being here, so sorry guys. To the people watching the stream, sorry that we took the big break in the middle of it. For anyone that's still sticking around, we hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back again next week. Possibly.
Next week, yeah.
Because I'm getting a new computer, so that may potentially hose our streaming setup for a week. You can find out for certain if we're going to be streaming. If you look us up on Twitter and Facebook, I'll be posting updates about it there. Facebook and Twitter.com/perspective. We also have a YouTube channel where we'll be uploading this.
Role perspective, not just perspective.
Oh, sorry, role perspective. Whereas the YouTube channel is Perspective Check. We'll be uploading this small episode as well as we have our other episodes uploaded on there. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in, guys. Sorry for cutting it so short and small this week. But work calls, so
Don't smoke Tigris.
yeah, don't smoke Tigger syrups.
Don't
Stay in
put
school.
Twinkies on your pizza.
I just tried to buy drugs.